Tips and techniques. Position your yarn on your hand and cast on as you would for regular needles. Slide your stitches to the other end of your needle so that your yarn comes from the far end. Knit these stitches as you normally would. Slide the stitches to the other end instead of turning the work. Again, slide the stitches to the other end of the needle without turning your work. Again, slide the stitches to the other end of the needle without turning your work. This will give the cord a rope-like look. To slip a stitch, simply put the needle in from the front and lift it off one needle and onto the other. To decrease by 2 stitches, knit 2 stitches together. Then pass the previous stitch over. To increase by 1 stitch, knit 1, grab your yarn from the back with the tip of your needle, and simply knit into the next stitch. You will have added 1 more stitch to your row. Grab your yarn from the back with the tip of your needle. Put your needle in the second stitch first, then immediately into the first stitch. Knit as normal, but together. The yarn over will have created a buttonhole, and the knit 2 together will have kept it from creating an extra stitch. Repeat. Grab your yarn from the back with the tip of the needle, knit 2 together. There is your new buttonhole and the first one you made. Take the 2 pieces, or turn the 2 pieces, so their right sides are together. Position your yarn on your hand as normal and pick up a 3rd needle. Place the needle through the first stitch on the front needle, then through the first stitch on the back needle. Grab your yarn from the back with the tip of your needle and bring forward through both stitches. Slide this stitch off the needle. Again, grab your yarn from the back with the tip of your needle and bring forward through both stitches. To cast off this stitch, you must lift the first stitch over the last stitch and off the needle. Into the first stitch on each needle, knit them together and off. Lift the first stitch over the last stitch and off. Sometimes a stitch can be dropped off the needle by mistake and come undone, like this. To pick up a knit stitch, put the tip of your needle in front of the dropped stitch. With the needle tip, go over the strand behind and pull it forward through the dropped stitch. You will now have a new stitch on your needle, but it will be on backwards. Take the stitch off the needle with your fingers or with the other needle and turn it around and slide it back on. Again, with the needle tip, go over the strand behind and bring forward through the dropped stitch. Then continue knitting. Sometimes we have to correct a stitch such as this one. It should have been a knit, but it was purled. Turn the work around to see the stitch better. Remove the stitch at the top of the row and pull the rows out down to and including the incorrect stitch. With the tip of the working needle, pick up the dropped purl stitch from behind. Gently, with your fingers, remove it from the needle. Move the needle tip back and grab the same strand again from behind. Bring it forward and down to wrap it onto the needle, then away through the stitch to create another stitch. Bring this new stitch to the front of any remaining undone rows. Again, remove the stitch from the needle. Using the same needle, pick up the strand behind from the back. Move the needle tip back and grab the same strand again from behind. Bring it forward and down to wrap it on the needle, then away through the stitch to create a new one. Transfer the corrected stitch to the other needle. And now you can turn your piece around and resume.